what you're doing right now, where you're finding the most success with generating new clients and new business, and then we'll work our way backwards and tell people how you got there.
Okay. Well, what everybody else should be doing. Still calling multiple hours a day. I just switched dialers and I'm really enjoying Enzo and trying to see if I can be more effective so I can hopefully spend less times on the phones. But pretty much it's everything you've taught me to do. I'm still diligent and disciplined and doing it every single day, trying to. And that's pretty much
Yeah.
still giving me the business and the success that I've had today so far.
Awesome. So let's break that down. So you're prospecting. I mean, you're waking up every day and you
Mhm.
know that the name of the game is to talk to people that may want to buy or sell real estate. I mean, it's no surprise. And so most agents just for whatever reason won't do that, won't accept the fact that they have to do that, or just
Mhm.
don't have enough courage to do it. So how did you come to this realization and really the courage to say, this is what I have to do? And if I want to grow my business, I have to talk to people every day.
Well, I always go back to like my training journey. Like I'm very disciplined with training and I wake up every morning and that's the first thing I do at 5 a.m. I'm at the gym and I've gained muscle that way. Right. And
Shocker,
most of
right?
the reason I've gotten there, it's because I really stayed consistent regardless of how I felt or the results that I didn't get yet. So I think it's about a lot about instant gratification. We want to get on the phones and immediately get a lead and an appointment, and sometimes it's just not going to happen. And I always go back to something we always tell us is most people that you're going to speak with are not going to do business with you. And you have to be okay with that. And it took me
Yeah.
a little bit to get there. And I think we all go through it, right? We get the nerves in, everybody's sweating at the beginning. Like you almost don't want people to pick up the phone because you don't want to talk to them. But
Right.
it's just realizing that you have to stay consistent no matter what. Believing kind of in your faith and in your God. If you have one that He's working in the back end for you, that you're planting seeds and that seeds are going to flourish and eventually you start seeing results. But you really have to get comfortable with feeling that way. And you just got to do it regardless of how you feel. Sometimes, like this week, I was not feeling it Monday. Still did
Yeah.
it, got a lead. So yeah.
That's a great point. And it reminds me of a study that psychologists did with rabbits. And I'll tell the story because it pertains so much to what we do in real estate. And it'll make a lot of sense to everybody. And I don't know if you know this, but here's how the study worked. They had 20 rabbits. It's a little sad in the beginning, but don't worry, it has a happy ending. They threw these 20 rabbits in a pool,
Hmm.
and they couldn't get out. There's no way for these rabbits to get out of the water. Okay, and after about 18, 19 minutes, they started giving up, and they started to almost drown. The scientists didn't let them drown, so they started taking all the rabbits out, and they saved them all. And then they did it again with the same 20 rabbits. They threw the rabbits in the pool, and these rabbits swam literally. I think that the study was for 20 hours. They went from 20 minutes to 20 hours. Why? Because they believed they would be saved. So it's amazing what we're able to do when we actually believe that we can get results. And to your point, most agents give up too soon. And it's not because they're not good at what they do. It's not because they're not calling the right lead sources. It's because they don't have belief that what they're going to do is actually going to work. So for you, how did you have this blind faith that what I was asking you to do as your coach would eventually start paying off, even though you weren't getting instant results? All right, real quick, if you're watching this interview right now and you're thinking to yourself, okay, I am working way too hard for too little money. I'm chasing too many buyers around. I don't have good work-life balance. And I want to be a listing agent. I want to be a multi six-figure earner working 4 to 5 days a week with control over my income and my schedule. If that is you, there's a link in the description. Feel free. You can schedule a day and time that works for you. We can jump on a Zoom. And when we're on that Zoom, we can map out the exact same system that you are seeing in this interview for yourself. We'll map it out step by step so that you can leave this session and go and start getting the results that I think that you want. So if that is you, if you want to take me up on that, feel free to click the link in the description. All right, let's jump back to the interview.
Well, I mean, we are in the business of talking to people. So I knew if I stayed consistent, this is what I kind of knew and I believed in it. If I stayed consistent, I was going to get better. My conversations were going to flow better and I wasn't going to have that like anxiety that I had at the beginning because I was going to get more comfortable in the phones. And as your numbers gave, you talk to people, someone will give you the opportunity. Like I'm trying to break into the luxury market. I'm getting close to a million. Haven't gotten the million yet, above that. But I know if I keep on knocking doors, one day someone will give me the opportunity, and that opportunity will lead to more opportunities down the line. So it's just a
Love
matter
it.
of yeah, knowing that if you stay consistent, you will get better because repetition is the mother of all skills. You are going to get better, you will improve. And by default, conversations are going to feel better. You'll enjoy it a little bit more. Sometimes I actually enjoy cold calling.
Yeah, that's
But yeah,
amazing.
pretty much you just I don't know, you just got to get to that comfort level, and the only way you get there is if you don't give up. And I try to talk to other people in the community and other people that I prospect on Discord with. The only way we're losing anything we do, it's if we start and we stop. As long as you keep on going, you'll get there. It may take you longer than other people, but you're human. You can't compare
Yeah,
yourself to someone else because skills are different. Maybe time framing their journey is different. So, I mean, but yes, just got to stick to it.
great point. It's results are inevitable if you don't quit.
Hmm.
And more importantly, which is why I wear this bracelet every day, as you know, you saw me wear it in person, which is that people want to always say this doesn't work or that doesn't work. But you can't say something doesn't work if you're not consistent in doing it, right? You can't post a couple videos on Instagram and say, well, that doesn't work. You can't do one open house a year and say open houses don't work. You can't, cold call here and there once in a while and then say it doesn't work, right? It's all about the consistency. So for you, let's talk about, and so thank you for sharing the mindset. So let's talk about who it is that you're actually prospecting. What sources of business or what lead sources are you going after right now?
So you guys will be surprised. I'm in a very small market, and Brandon knows this. Some people in the community know this, but I am in a very small market. When you all get 30 expires, I get one in a good day. So I do not have a lot of now business. So what that means to me is that my skills with that lead source have to be very sharp and very polished. So I call every now business first, regardless of the amount I have, because I know those will convert now versus the circle prospecting that will convert a year or 2 years down the line. So my morning looks like 2 to 3 hours, depending on what I have going on the rest of the day. Now business is call first every day. I've recently started calling cancels at the end of the day and seeing how that plays into my results. And then I go into circle prospecting because my goal is to fill the pipeline because I do not want to be slaves to the phones forever. As
Yeah,
much as
yeah,
I'm getting better at it and I'm enjoying it, it's just very time consuming and it's not something I want to do forever. If one's business is businessing, I could
yeah.
leverage other humans to kind of do a lot of the work. But for now, and one of the things I tell people at the beginning, in every business, you have time versus money, right? For a lot of us, when we start, all we have it's our brain and our time. So you have to get really good at that before then you start having some more money coming in and then you can use that to hire help pretty much.
It's a great point, right? So in the beginning, I think it's so well said. It's like you don't have very much money. All you have is your time. So you're putting time into prospecting, building a pipeline. And what I've always said is if you're willing to prospect every day for the first 3 to 5 years, the need to prospect for the rest of your career would go away. Like you'd have so much business and repeat and referral business and such a foundation that the need for you to prospect ever again would go away. So when you say now business, you're calling expireds
I
for sell
call
by owners and
buyers
canceled?
cancels for sale by owner. Actually, I just clicked live 30 minutes ago from a for sale by owner. Yeah, expires cancels for sale by owner. For rent by owners, I converted one recently as well. And then I go into circle prospecting, trying to get in the neighborhoods where I know it's going to lead me to that luxury listings that I'm trying to target and get into in the hopefully next year.
Yeah, and going back to your first point, I mean, just give the audience some context. Like, how long have you actually been selling real estate full time?
Well, if I told you guys, I'm gonna say two things. I've my goal when I hit January this year was to really make 100K for the whole year. Year today, I've already doubled that, so I've made over 200,000 this year, and it just kind of feels amazing. And then, what was the question again? I kind of lost my thought here for a second.
Well, I want to give people context on how long it took you to get there,
Okay,
because it's not
yeah,
like you've been doing this for 50, it's not
no,
taking you
no.
15 years to make
November, yeah,
$200,000 a year.
November of this year, it's just 2 years. So I joined real estate. I got my license at the end of 2023 in November, early November, and then and then I'm waiting for people to fall out of the sky, right? And then
That's right.
I joined Brandon at the end of 2023, started calling January of 2024. Within a month and a half, I got my first conversion. Then I had to pause because I had another business that's one of the things I said, you go in, you stay consistent, and sometimes you don't give up, but you have to tweak the plan because the plan that you have may not work. So we learn along the way, and that's what kind of makes us better and successful at what we do. So yeah, I had another business that was failing. It never failed. I learned with it. And then but that kind of led to real estate. And that's why I got into real estate. And when I saw that I could pick up the phone, because it was so hard to get clients into that store that I had at the time. When I
You were
saw
waiting. You were doing a lot of waiting.
Oh my God, it was a different business model. But when I saw in real estate, I could pick up the phone and talk to the humans that were raising their hands to do business with, and you just got to click with them. I'm like, wait, I can do this.
That's amazing.
So
That's so
I
good.
paused. I know I paused cold calling for a few months because it was a bridal prom dress shop, so prom season hit. Anyways, June 2024, I said, okay, this is the time that I need to start cold calling because all along, all of that going on, I also had a day job, a remote day job. So I was doing three things at one time. It was a little suicidal. Don't recommend it.
Yeah.
I knew I had to leave that day job. And I remember I asked Brandon, hey, what should I do? Where should I call? And he told me just call this, and then jump into circle prospecting. That's what I did. And I was able to leave the day job in July of this year. So less than 2 years in business. I've already
Amazing.
doubled my goal. So I'm over 200K GCI this year. And hopefully I get to 250, 260 towards the end of the year.
Good for you. That's amazing. Okay. So you're doing some bottom of funnel prospecting and then you're doing some top of funnel circle prospecting. I think what people always want to know is okay, once I mustered up the courage to pick up this phone that seems 10,000 pounds and I start making the calls, then what do I do? What do I say? What if they say this? What if they say that? So talk to us about, I guess, what are some of the skills that you and I have worked on that's helped you to have these conversations? And is there any one skill that you think has been the biggest reason why maybe you're able to have good conversations with prospects?
Well, I think it's because I'm a lot more comfortable on the phones and I don't get lost now when they go away from the script. I remember at the beginning they will they would not, I mean, people are talking to you. They're not gonna, they don't know you have a script. But if the sequence of the questions based on the conversation would throw me off, I was completely off, right? Now I know that there's a way to kind of reverse the questions, to never answer a question with an answer and then just kind of pivot back with a question. So
That's right.
that kind of really taught me how to first is to qualify, knowing that these people really have pain and if it's actually going to be a good fit, because a lot of people that I talk to do not give me the opportunity because maybe there's not enough pain or they just have other realtors. You just got to really, so to answer your question, my kind of being comfortable more on the phones, having just like what it feels like more of a normal conversation, finding out is there enough pain here? Can I really help and get to the closing table? And is it going to be a good fit for both of us? So honestly, that's the biggest thing for me and be okay with the outcome. Just kind of knowing that I'm going in at a no. And that's one of the things I always remember. I'm already at a no, Oksana. The worst that it could happen is that they tell you no. You're already there. So, I mean, now you may get out of there and they may tell you yes. So I'm going to take my chances because I know my my next listing or my next opportunities from the now to the next phone call that I need to make. So I just pick up the
That's
phone
such a great
and I
mindset.
just do it. Yeah.
Great mindset for people listening, right? It's like one, detached from the outcome. B, you can't lose what you don't have. You're already at zero. So you can't go
Mhm.
negative, right? You can't go worse than no. It's already a no. So you can only gain from the conversation.
And I kind of remind everybody here, just follow what we are taught in the program because the little extra touch for me, I'm definitely not a transactional agent. I was in the boardroom, the mastermind class, by the way, I was so blessed to be there. But it's interesting how in this business we have transactional agents and not transactional agents. I'm more of a personal kind of one-to-one and going really above, and they're both okay with it. Now, what Brandon teaches us, the thank you cards, the scratch offs, it applied all of that because the goal is you can't just expect to be putting 3 to 5 hours on the phones and not doing anything extra after that. They're going to forget who you are. They're not going to
Yeah.
care that you've spent 5 hours on the phone. If you are not really following up, and that's one of the things I wanted to make sure I mentioned, follow up until they die or they tell you to go away. And Dom says that all the time. And it's clicked in my head because I've gotten listings today. Because at the end of the day, I asked them, why are you hiring me? I know you were bombarded with calls. Why are you hiring Oksana? They're like, well, you were first, we saw your skills. We saw how disciplined you were and how consistent and how persistent you were. And persistency has gotten me
Yeah.
listings. So we feel that we're bothering them. Never. The people that have enough pain and need the help will thank you for staying on top of them and following up with them. So never feel like you're
Great
bothering
point.
that. Mhm.
I love it. I love it. So you talked about the first call. Um, we talked about the mindset of the first call. You talked a little bit about the skills of the first call to convert into a lead. And now you're talking a little bit about lead follow up, which I think is so important that most agents would say it's probably their biggest struggle is, when I generate this opportunity, I have no system. So what are you doing to successfully follow up with people that turns them into appointments down the road?
Yeah, well, a good CRM, just make sure I'm staying very, very organized. I have my daily follow-ups, my weekly follow-ups, my monthly follow-ups. What do I use? I use Follow Up Boss, whatever CRM you use, you have to use the systems. Mailbox Power was introduced and launched in my business since day one. And let me tell you how randomly I get texts from prospects that are not ready to do anything yet, but they're like, listen, I have never seen someone market the way you do. You're
Yeah.
definitely, so it's either for sale by owner that, and I can be sad. I just had one that I thought beautiful listing in the best neighborhood that I wanted to get into. She sold by herself. I'm like, listen, kudos to you. She's like, you were so amazing. Like your marketing skills is like nothing I've ever seen before. You were the most impressive agent that I've ever seen. And so many call them. So that alone tells you that whatever you're doing, it's working. Some people are going to convert, others are not, and that's okay. But you really have to implement that and then enhance it along the way. It's like my cards now are not
Totally.
like what you taught me to. My branding has evolved. And one of the things I want to make sure everybody, and I think we all should be doing that, but it's common sense, but you are a business owner, own it. Make sure you're branding it some point. You have a slogan because when people see your name out there, they'll be like, "Oh, that's her." That's it. For me. I'm a pink girl. I refers to the people I serve as humans, and people are starting to catch up on that. I had a prospect that it's on my Facebook friend. I was following up like I always do, and he's like, "Oh, hey, human." I'm like, "Okay, my marketing, it's working." So whatever is it that becomes natural to you, start doing it because it's going to start setting you apart from the crowd. There is a
But
realtor in every corner, you guys, and they don't have to hire you. Why are they hiring you? What kind of value do you bring to the table, and what are you going to do different that they're going to give you thousands of dollars for that? So I just
Yeah. And here's the reality. Here's the reality. This is, I think, a really good point that you bring up. You don't even have to be better than your competitors. You just have to have the perception that you are better. And that's what you mean by marketing and by how we communicate and how we show up. It's that's how people are making their decision. And so you leverage a lot of with mailbox power and direct mail and your phone
Mhm.
calls, and you have great content on Instagram. All these things play into your overall conversion that makes people feel confident that they're hiring the right agent. So let's flip to the actual listing appointment. So I think this is obviously one of the most important parts of the entire sales process. It's like you can do everything right and then get to the appointment and screw that up and it's all for nothing. So what have you learned through maybe the last year and a half of you and I working together that's helping you when you get in front of a prospect, present in a way that makes you the obvious choice where the consumer feels comfortable and hires you?
Well, I'm going to tell you, Brandon, I know you give us a really nice listing presentation, but you could have the best listing presentation on planet Earth. But if you don't deliver those words with conviction and confidence, you are not going to be their agent.
Well said.
The moment you walk into, you have to position yourself as a person of authority. This is your house, but you need me to sell your house. And this is how I'm going to get there. Your words have to sound with that much confidence. And it's a no-brainer. Usually there is not a back and forth of, gee, when we get to the end, it's like, okay, when do we start working? The challenge is sometimes getting into the listing presentation. Like I said, I've only had maybe 15 transactions. I'm more of like a quality, good price point. But it's the conviction and the confidence that you deliver the words in setting up the agenda from the beginning, because people are not only going to respect you, but they're going to value you for it. When I'm doing the setting up the agenda, that part that you said, I'm going to here exactly tell you what what you need to do to sell your house, regardless if you're going to like it or not. That has to sound so strong, because anything that you say will literally be textbook for them to get this house ready to hit the market. And sometimes I just have a house, Brandon, like literally this house. Oh, by the way, something I have started introducing and it's been working wonders for me is the pre-listing package. Bring that
Mm,
pre-listing packet, tweak it for you. I created the video on the whole thing with the barcode. That's something that we were taught. I didn't initially do it.
yeah.
Yeah, it does. It does. Once you get there, they're like, okay, this girl is like blowing our minds away. She came all the
And
way
you're talking about
here.
this, right? So
Yeah,
you send
mine
this
doesn't look as
and then,
fancy, but
yeah,
yes.
yeah. But or you just have, an easier, simpler one, right? It's just the folder and
Yes,
it's got the
yes.
QR code.
Let me show
Yeah.
you.
And,
I
and
actually put it in this little really nice like binders. You can get this in Amazon. You can buy this for your business cards. Anyways, you already look like a professional and prepared.
you are already leaps and bounds better than your competitors. And so the QR code sending them to a video of you, is that right?
Yes, there's a QR code in there. One of the pages has that. Anyways, not as fancy. I just hired, by the way, one of the things, and I know I'm going away from the question, but I promise you, I'm gonna come back to it. One of the things that I am actually doing, one of the things that scaling my business and really growing to this level in kind of less than a year has allowed me to just invest back in the business. So I'm in the process
Yeah.
of hiring a graphic designer that, by the way, Johnny from our coaching program recommended. So I'm working on trying to enhance my brand so I can then look even better than what I do today. But going
Sure.
back to the listing presentation, yeah, saying with conviction, with confidence, because sometimes literally this house that I just listed today, the first day that I walked in to drop off that listing presentation, it looked abandoned. Literally, I was like, listen, you guys
Wow.
cannot list this house like this. You list this house like this today, you'll get $100,000 less than what you can list it for. Now, if you follow the plan that I'm going to give you to the T, we can list it at this number and you have better chances. Now, I can never promise you you're going to sell it for this price. I don't promise things. If the realtor comes and promise you something, run away from it, because nobody could promise you
That's right.
anything. It's up to the market. Anyways, but yeah, I gave him the plan and they
Well,
did the plan to the T and we listed today.
Well, I think it's clear that even through this conversation on this virtual podcast, how much confidence and conviction you have. I think any realtor that's watching this, that's the takeaway. Like Oksana's confidence is pouring out of her. You're so believable and you're so likable that that's the thing. To your point, it's not, the script, and it's not that, it's literally how we're making people feel, and your confidence, the way, the presence and the charisma that you have when you show up and you owning the room, showing up as that authority, as you put it, is 100% the most important thing. Quick question on the pre-listing packet. Are you sending that? Are you hand delivering that? Are you overnighting
I
it? Are
am.
you
I am. Unfortunately, the goal is to hire an assistant next year, so I can delegate a lot of this tasks. But yeah, I try to do the best effort and to make sure I hand deliver that the day before with a
awesome?
huge box of what's it called? The cookie place, crumble cookies. I have one.
Crumble, yeah,
So whatever you can do, it doesn't have to be the nice crumble cookie. At the beginning, I didn't have the budget to do all that. So I
right,
would just still do the packet, but then I would do the 4.99 Walmart cookies. Anything
yeah,
that you do will definitely start setting you up for success when you get in that listing presentation. And talking to that confidence, I didn't have this much confidence initially, not because I wasn't confident of myself. It's because I was a newer agent that honestly didn't know still what I was doing. I was relying a lot on my broker, but you start getting that confidence along the way. And unfortunately, this is kind of, I don't know if it's you're gonna take it well or not, but you're gonna have to fake it a little bit at the beginning. Like you really
yeah.
have to fake that because If you don't, they're going to ask you, how long have you been doing business for? Because question got asked to me many times. And I remember, I think it was Tucker that told me, I bet that they're asking you this because you're not sounding confident with the delivery of your message. And that the moment that, and I was kind of upset when he said it, I'm like, no, what do you mean? I'm confident. I'm like, no, you're not. No,
Yeah.
you're not. So we learn along the way. So that's going back to the first question you asked about the calls and the whole thing. We suck at first, but just stay on the course, and then you adjust the course, and then you learn along the way, and then eventually you get better.
Yeah, I think your superpower in this business, most people say it, but they don't apply it, is your ability to build real relationships with people. I think it's your superpower. And so that's the other reason why you're not going to be a transactional agent. And that's because you give people such a great experience that after you sell a home, you actually are going to continue building that relationship long term. So, talk to us about what you do with past clients and centers of influence to stay top of mind to continue to serve them so you can build a referral based business.
Yeah, that's a good question because actually I just got a text from my client of 2 years ago, like my first client that he never saw.
Yeah,
He to this day, he doesn't know that he was my very first client, by the way. So I try to nurture afterwards because I know this is a referral down the line. So
that's
birthday,
right.
I have birthdays set up through Mailbox Power at the beginning of the year. And again, I've only been 2 years going into year two, but last January, I'm like, okay, I need to reset my Mailbox Power gift. So this year they're getting a mail like a little pen with their, I think it says happy birthday or their name and a little card. And I always, so I'm gonna either try to birthdays always, something around the holidays, and maybe a client event. I haven't done a client event yet, but it's in my to-do list. And with just stay very personable for me. Last year I did Christmas cards with my family pictures on it because I want people to know I'm a family person, which I am. And then I brought it with, and the prospects that I had great conversations with, I went a little bit extra. I hand delivered, I think it was cookies or chocolates with and that got me not one transaction, but two transactions. And the volume was 1.8 million from a seller that needed to downsize and bought. Thanks to all that extra stuff. I just bought
Amazing.
for all the buyers that bought with me this year, Christmas ornaments that says your first Christmas on your new house. So whatever is it that you do but you have to continue to nurture that relationship. You can't just you close with me and then you're done because they will not come back to you.
Nope.
They will
Good for
not
you.
come back to you.